Hey guys, this is Matt from Geopoint Data, and welcome to another episode of Niching Down with Geopoint Data. So we're on the website right now, and we're going to talk about some owner-occupied lists and how to niche down your data to talk to the people that you ideally want to communicate your offerings with in real estate. So we're going to go to Stacked underneath the Data List dropdown. So this is our stack builder page. This is where all the magic happens. Our pricing information is over here. We can include phone numbers or we don't include phone numbers, whatever you need for your marketing. If you need phone numbers for cold calling or text blasting or anything like that, include the phone numbers. If you're just using mailers, you don't need phone numbers for that type of marketing. So you can not include those, but we offer both of them on this drop down right here. For this situation, we're gonna do some cold calling. So we're going to need the phone numbers. And that means that with your order of our data, not only do you get amazing opportunities to niche down your list through our motivating filtering and our advanced filtering, but also you get all of the contact information for those records, which includes up to 10 phone numbers, mobile numbers, and also up to 5 landline numbers and 2 emails. So without further ado, let's get into how to niche down your owner occupied list. So we're just going to pick a city for this example. We do a lot of our stuff down in Phoenix, so we like to choose that Phoenix area just for examples and everything, because if we pull these lists, we can use them personally. So we're just going to go into the owner occupied on the underneath the occupant. Selecting, we want to have owner occupied. So we want to have the people who own the house are actually living in the house. Absentee would mean that people that own the house are not living in the house. They have a different primary residence. So we're going to select owner occupied. And just to see where the counts are at before we put any of these motivating filters in, we're just going to select the property types that we want, which is single family, condos, and 2 to 4plex. And if we have the occupant and the property types, we can go ahead and view our available count just to see what the counts are like in Phoenix for owner occupied with those property types. And so just take 2 seconds, and once it loads, then we'll get all the information right here, which is 190,577 properties with the owner living at that residence. So based off of this, we can start niching down our list. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. So we'll cover both of them, but just to give you a little overview, we have these motivating filters, which is vacancy, high income, low income, high credit, low credit, 60 plus, and empty nesters. And then we also have the advanced filtering, which is min and max sales date, year built, purchase price, market value, loan to value, which usually the loan to value, a better way to do it is actually through this maximum sale date, because if they own the house for 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to have more equity in the house. So we use that primarily as a way to get some high equity lists. But let's just talk about some of these different filters. So we have all the selecting motivators and we have any of the selecting motivators. And what this means is if I select all and I do low credit, low income, and 60 plus, that means that we are finding the houses that have an owner who lives in the house that is at least 60 years and older, who is also flagged for low income and also flagged for low credit. So that's a layering where it filters on top of each other. It further narrows down the filtering. When you compare that to any of the selected motivators, that means that of people in Phoenix who own their homes, they actually live at the homes that the properties that we're pulling records from, they can have any of the selected motivators, meaning that they can be either low income or flagged as low income, flagged as low credit, and flagged as 60 and older. And you'll get a list, kind of a mixed basket of people who fit either one of those 3 criteria. So that's very important to think about when you're niching down your list is, do you want to have 3 or 2 lists put together into one list based off of these criteria of any, or do you want to really narrow down your list, hyper focus your list, hyper niche down your list to have filtering on top of the other filters? So in this situation, I'm going to play around with all the selecting motivators, and what we're going to do is I'm going to grab 60 plus. 60 plus is a good list. A lot of times people over 60, especially in the Phoenix area, they might be in some, some transition stages of their life. Maybe they want to downsize, maybe they want to move away. I mean, there can be all sorts of different opportunities that 60 plus can add to a list. So we're going to select 60 plus, and then we're just going to go down here and view the available count. So previously it was 195,000, and now it's going to probably go down to 43,000. So now we can play with that. Let's say that we want to get a list of, let's say 2,000 records we're using for this campaign. So what we want is we can either niche this down to get to 2,000 and then pull that list, or we can get it down a little bit more, and then you can pull 2,000 of that, and you can use the same exact list and suppress it from this selecting right here, and you can suppress your list based off of previous lists ordered, so you will not get the duplicates when you order your next list. You can pull out of the same list and get the fresh data that you didn't purchase previously. So we're going to add another one of these ones. 60 plus, I mean, low income is okay, but you get a lot of people who are retired, and if you have low income, and there's a lot of ways that you can get low income when you're 60 plus. I mean, you talk like Social Security, like pensions, all that stuff. So it's easier to get filtered into a low income bracket, which is a powerful distress signal, but the low credit one, especially being 60 plus, is what I'm going to dig into on this. So we're going to go low credit, and now based off that, we can see what our counts are. So now this will be everyone in Arizona who lives at their residence, who we have phone numbers for, right? So that's a big narrowing factor, is what we have phone numbers for. We have about 97% of the homeowner information across the United States, and we warehouse all of the phone numbers that we possibly can have. But sometimes the phone numbers are significantly less than non-phone numbers, just in a volume scale. So you'll cut down your count a little bit with the phone numbers included, but it has its benefit because you get a 100% match rate list. So based off this, we're at 5,904. So we could, again, pull 2,000 records just by typing in 2,000 right here, and you'd get your final price, and you'd be able to submit, and you go right to the order form, the checkout form, I should say. But we're going to niche this down a little further. So we're going to play around with the maximum sales date. So I want to have people who have been living there for, let's try 10 years. They've been living there for 10 years already. So they have a little bit of equity in the home. They have low credit, which means they probably have bad payment history, or they also have a lot of debt. And this might be an opportunity for them to transition out of their current situation, pull equity out of the home through a cash sale or a wholesale offering, and then they could fix all their credit, fix all that stuff, while also getting some money in their pocket, and then they can move to a different place and kind of have a fresh start in their 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever age they fall into in that 60 plus range. So we're just going to see what happens when we put this dates, 10 years of ownership, 10 and a half years in this case. And if we press view available count, then we'll be able to see what that current count will be with that added criteria. So now we have 2,773. So that's a pretty good mark for what we want. I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing that we could probably play around with is this. I would probably do year built. Let's just do 2000, 10 years of, yeah, that'll work. We'll do 10 years prior to the house being purchased is what we want that mark to be. So if we do view available count, then we'll be able to see that we cut down a little bit of that, right? So now we're looking at like fixing and flipping these houses. They were made before 2000 or built before 2000. Someone bought them after at least 10 years of when that house has been around, and they've owned that house for at least 10 and a half years where they've been making payments consistently on those. So based off that, this is a pretty good list that is being put together right here. You can further filter around with the purchase price and market value. What we usually play around with, it's all market dependent, but in the Phoenix area, we usually do 350,000 as a max purchase price, and then like 500 to 550,000 as a max market value. So I'm not going to play around with those today because I think our list is pretty niche down, just based off what we've done so far on the filtering. But with that being said, all we're going to do is have 2,000 in here, which I previously put in. You can either do that or you can choose the slider and you can get to 2,000 records pretty easily. And then once you have those records and you're all good to go, all you have to do is hit submit. When you hit submit, it'll take you right to the checkout in a second or two. And then you can fill in your information. You can create an account if you don't already have an account with Geopoint. Other than that, all this is, proceed to the next step, put your payment information in. If you have a coupon code, use it right here. A little drop down will put, you just put the coupon in there. And then once you're good to go on that, you'll have your list. It'll be sent to you. You get a few emails that'll come to you. You'll get the order has been received, and then very, very short after, within probably a minute or two, you're going to get your actual list, which will have a download link, and you press the download link, and then you'll get your list downloaded in a zip file that you just open up, and it has a CSV file within it, and you're good to go. You can send it over to your guys that are making calls for you, your VAs that are making calls for you. You can upload it into any platforms that you deem necessary for your marketing, and then you're off to the races, and you can start closing a lot of deals using hyper niched down data from Geopoint data. So that is niching down with Geopoint data. This is an owner occupied list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to support@geopointdata.com or call our 408 number on the top of our website right here, and we'll be happy to help you with anything. Anything about questions about the order process, questions about our data, walking you through the order process, or any problems that come in between those. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next episode of Niching Down with Geopoint Data. Thanks.